What's up, Ketchup crew? Welcome to the weekly Ketchup on YouTube, where we bring you the biggest news of the week in movies and TV. And this week, we're talking about early reactions to Birds of Prey, Season 2 of The Mandalorian, plus Oscar predictions. So, let's do this.
I wasn't the only dame in Gotham looking for emancipation.
You fall in love.
Birds of Prey has officially premiered, and the social reactions that are coming in have been comparing the action to John Wick and the comedy to Deadpool. But based on what we know so far, will this film be better than its predecessor, Suicide Squad? Let's talk about it right now on The Ketchup. Hey there, I'm Mark Ellis, stepping in for Naz Perez, who actually has a great reason for not being here, but I'll let her tell you about it.
Hey guys, sorry I couldn't be there today. I'm actually in London interviewing the cast of Birds of Prey. I can't wait to see you next week and hear what you have to say about the reactions to this film. I'll see you next week, and I'm gonna kick it back to Mark now. Bye.
Say hi to Abbey Road for me, Naz. And now that people have seen Birds of Prey, which opens wide on February 7th, the overall consensus on social media is that it's flat out a lot of fun, and that starts with Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Meg Downey on Twitter said that the movie was an absolute blast. Harley feels exactly like the human Looney Tune she ought to be. With Brandon Rowe adding, Margot Robbie is finally given the spotlight in a film chock full of chemistry. And that chemistry is of course referring to Robbie and the very stacked cast like Journey Smollett-Bell and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who got a lot of love as well. Like from BD, who tweeted, "If Birds of Prey told me anything, it's that we need a whole lot more Canary and Huntress. They are great, but there's a lot left on the bone." So yeah, expect spin-offs.
Sure.
But they aren't the only members of this ensemble cast that are turning heads. Our friend Eric Davis tweeted that Ewan McGregor as Black Mask and Chris Messina as Victor Zsasz are so out of their minds in this film, probably my favorite villains in this new era of DC movies. Plus, a shout out to Rosie Perez, who steals a lot of scenes too. Other aspects of the film that seem to add to the fun factor are the soundtrack and the action sequences, which many have compared to the John Wick franchise. So in other words, lots of guns. And deservedly getting a lot of the credit is Birds of Prey director Kathy Yan, who, according to Scott Menzel on Twitter, has created a music-infused celebration of female badassery. DC continues to take big risks and push boundaries. And Millicent Thomas added that Kathy's film is a criminally fun celebration of sisterhood with some of my favorite fight scenes in recent memory. Early reactions are also saying that the film nicely blends the impressive action with just the right amount of drama and, of course, comedy. Geek Vibes Nation tweeted that there's a lot of fourth wall breaking, with many comparing it to Deadpool. And that comparison, a common one, also stems from Birds of Prey's R rating.
No one gives two shits who we are beyond that.
Birds of Prey picks up 4 years after the events of 2016's Oscar-winning Suicide Squad, which is a rotten 27% on the Tomatometer. But one of the few bright spots of that film, according to critics and fans, was Harley Quinn. And Birds of Prey seems to be starting off on a better trajectory than Suicide Squad, giving people what they wanted for the most part. Allison Foreman called it a solid breakup movie that is leagues better than Suicide Squad, in large part because we get a rare glimpse into the rich inner life of a female supervillain. But Simon Thompson tweeted, "I expected a richer, darker Birds of Prey, but enjoyed what we got. A lot of fun, but a touch all over the place tonally."
And vengeance rarely brings the catharsis we hope for. Yeah.
Good news, friends! We now know when we'll get to see a second season of The Mandalorian and more of Baby Yoda. So let's take a look at what we can expect from Season 2 of the hit Disney Plus show right now on The Ketchup. I have spoken. Disney revealed in an earnings call this week that The Mandalorian Season 2 is coming this October, so special thank you to Jon Favreau for starting to write it before any of us even saw a minute of Season 1.
You're so money and you don't even know it.
And so much happened at the end of the Certified Fresh first season to give us an idea of what's to come, starting with what's gonna happen to this really cute thing. You know, the biggest thing to happen in pop culture since Old Town Road. Well, we know that Baby Yoda is a foundling, meaning that the Mandalorian has a duty to search the galaxy to find its rightful home, or he can train the child in accordance with the way, because, you know, this is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
Now, Yoda's species is actually one of the few remaining mysteries in the vast Star Wars lore. So, while their travels could reveal little tidbits about where the child, and Yoda for that matter, came from, it's one mystery that could very well remain forever unsolved in the Star Wars canon. Hopefully, we also get to find out what his real name is so we can stop calling him Baby Yoda, but for now, we'll just go with Taika Waititi's guess, Nigel. Hey, Nigel. But one thing we do know is that their travels will no doubt hit a few space bombs thanks to people like Giancarlo Esposito's Moff Gideon. And remember the last time we saw Moff, he was in possession of the Darksaber, giving fans their first live-action look at the weapon. As far as the history of the Darksaber goes, allow me to nerd-splain. It was built a long time ago by the first Mandalorian to become a Jedi. It was later at the center of the Jedi-Mandalorian conflict and then ultimately became a symbol of power to the Mandalorian people, so it could be Mando's destiny to try and take possession and use it to unite what's left of the Mandalorian warriors, as if Mando couldn't get any cooler. But the Darksaber has popped up in both the Rebels and Clone Wars animated series, and considering that Favreau's main collaborator, Dave Filoni, has been a major player in those series, the Darksaber could very well be the key to a character like Bo-Katan crossing over from animation to live action to claim it.
I'm here to rescue you. That's all you need to know.
Another adventure we could see with Baby Yoda and Mando, whose true name is Din Djarin, could be the continued defense of the planet Navarro seen at the end of season 1, since we know that both Carl Weathers and Gina Carano will be returning. And thanks to a tweet from Jon Favreau back in December, we'll get to learn how this returning Gamorrean last seen in Return of the Jedi will fit back into the story. And while it seems unlikely that the wandering of Mando and his foundling will be as directionless as it was in the first season, we still expect to see some more of those self-contained stories. It's a strategy that lends itself to utilizing different great directors like Bryce Dallas Howard and Taika Waititi in season 1, and with Jon Favreau and Carl Weathers stepping behind the camera in season 2. And if all of that is not enough to get you excited, Disney's Bob Iger hinted in that earnings call that he's considering Mandalorian-related spin-off shows by infusing the show with more characters and taking those characters in their own direction. Fingers crossed that Taika Waititi's IG-11 is first up.
This is not a joke. Moonlight has won Best Picture. Moonlight, Best Picture.
Get ready for fancy dresses, little gold men, and really long speeches because the Oscars are almost here. And who will be the night's biggest winners? We're talking predictions right now on The Ketchup. The hostless Oscars are live on ABC this Sunday, and if there's one thing we know, it's that the person who knows the least about movies will win your office ballot pool. But if there's a second thing we know, it's that Joaquin Phoenix will win for Best Actor.
Can you introduce me as Joker?
The star of Joker has already taken home 10 Best Actor awards this season, according to our awards leaderboard, including SAG, BAFTA, and Golden Globe wins. And even though Adam Driver was equally fantastic in Marriage Story and sang Stephen Sondheim, there's no reason to believe that Joaquin won't add one more trophy to the case on Sunday.
People are starting to notice.
Another likely shoo-in based on what we've seen this award season is Renee Zellweger for Best Actress in The Certified Fresh, Judy. It's her first Oscar nomination since 2004 when she won for Best Supporting Actress in Cold Mountain. Despite going up against huge names like Theron, Johansson, and Ronan, Zellweger's deeply committed performance as Judy Garland is strong enough to carry her all the way to the Oscar stage.
What if I can't do it again?
Now, when it comes to who we think will win for Best Director, let me tell you a story. Once upon a time in Hollywood, there was a director named Quentin Tarantino who did an amazing job directing a great film. But it just so happened to be the same year that a director named Sam Mendes directed a single continuous shot war movie called 1917. And the work he did was just too good to ignore, which is why 20 years after winning for American Beauty, Sam will take home his second directing Oscar on Sunday.
Lost man standing.
But who's giving the last speech of the night is really what matters because they will be holding an Oscar for Best Picture. And this year, we think it will be writer-director Bong Joon-ho, the man behind the hit South Korean film Parasite. Yes, Bong Hive, you heard it right here, Best Picture. Both critics and fans love Parasite, which is certified fresh at 99%, with an audience score of 93%. And USA Today's Brian Truitt may have said it best when he wrote, "Parasite attaches to you and it doesn't let go, but it does it in like a totally good way, trust me." By the way, Parasite is also our pick for Best Foreign Language Film and Best Editing. But if you truly want to win your Oscar ballot, be sure to watch our breakdown of every category, complete with insider secrets and predictions on the Rotten Tomatoes YouTube page. And for the latest awards coverage, head on over to RottenTomatoes.com.
All right, friends, thank you for tuning in to the Weekly Catch-Up on YouTube. Make sure to tap that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes of The Catch-Up. As always, I'm Naz Perez, and we'll see you guys next week.